So we've talked about first class, we've talked about medium mail, we've talked about priority, and we have talked about international. And I'm going to show you some shipping supplies, how to use them. I'm going to show you pretty much all the shipping supplies that I keep on hand. Now I do have another blog post about that, and it's a list of everything that I use and all the links so that you can find that. Again, I will have that link below. Now I have this pile behind me, so I'm going to have to kind of twist to find it. But I'm going to show you what they all are and what I use them for. So maybe this will be helpful to you if you're just getting started with this and I don't know what to put this stuff in. We kind of get like that sometimes. I don't know what to do with this. So these are bubble mailers, and the reason that they're called bubble mailers is because there is bubble wrap on the inside. Now this is called a poly bubble mailer because it's plastic on the outside, but you can also get a craft paper bubble mailer too. So these my husband found at a yard sale, and I have some other that are this size that he found at a yard sale too. The poly ones will stretch a little easier than the paper, so that is an advantage. They are a little bit more expensive, I believe, so you know, you pick what seems to work best for you. The sizes that I always keep are, since I've gotten these, I've just kept them because I think that they're great. I've never run out of the yard sale ones, but if I do, I'll buy more. Nintendo 64 and Super Nintendo games go really well in here. If you're sending DS games, anything small like that, these go really well, and they're just small and compact. Now, if you use half sheet labels with your printer, or you're cutting and sticking labels with tape, it's not going to probably fit on here. A 4x6 label from a Dymo or Zebra fits perfectly on here, but a bigger label just doesn't fit unless you trim a lot of it, and I still don't know if it would fit after that. So that's something to keep in mind. What label printer are you using, and how are you going to get the label in there? So anyway, or just regular printer are you using? So this is a 000, so that gives you an idea of size comparison. This is a 0. Now this is, I think, about 6x9, but I could be totally off. So this one's quite a bit smaller. If I have these correctly, that I've ordered them correctly, hopefully I'm not telling you the wrong numbers. This is the number 3, and this is the number 5. This one's pretty big. Now, what can you ship in these? Because that's the important thing. You don't want to put anything breakable in here unless you have bubble wrapped it and or put cardboard around it. You want to put anything breakable in here. These are great for books. If you're shipping books. These are great for some action figures, although you don't want to put anything in here that's going to bend. Definitely do not want to put anything like, I don't know, some like a coffee mug or anything crazy like that. Y'all think I'm being crazy by suggesting that. I have seen some pictures of things. So, anyway, anything small, anything in a small box, you just want to make sure that it's not something that's going to get crushed, because you know, this is not foolproof. And sometimes I will wrap things in bubble wrap before I put them in here. So, I'm trying to think of video games and books mostly are what I put in there. Maybe some small toys, anything that, you know, tools, anything that's like on a card that won't matter if it gets bent a little bit, goes in here. Or something that I can bubble wrap extra and put in here. Video game controllers, I'll put probably in this size, but I will wrap them in bubble wrap and then put them in here. So those are the things you can use. This is going to be probably a first class item that goes in here. Okay, another couple of things that you can use, okay, are, or anything media mail, books, any of that kind of stuff, DVDs, CDs. This is a number 0, I believe. This is an eBay branded mailer. Now, if you have an eBay store, you have to have a store subscription. They will give you a coupon to their shipping store quarterly, so make sure you're not losing out on that. They will give you a coupon, and you go to their store on eBay and buy stuff with your coupon code. You can use it only all at one time, so I usually get something that's close. I get a $25 one quarterly. I get something as close to $25 as I can usually. They're very good quality, but they are kind of pricey, so I'm probably not going to buy from them when I need things, but I will use my coupon there. The other thing I use sometimes for books, patterns, anything like that's kind of not flimsy, or sometimes I'll put a light piece of cardboard in there, manila envelopes. So they're okay, but you want to be careful, because if this gets wet, it's not going to keep the rain out of whatever. So that's something to think about. Now, you also can get other things from the eBay store, and I'll show you some other in just a minute, but this is a poly mailer. Now, this one has eBay on it. These are some of the older designs. And then you can just order plain ones. Now, these aren't as thick and they're not as nice, but they're from Amazon. I think a friend gave these to me, but I'm sure these are like the ones from Amazon that I've ordered before, or maybe these aren't the ones she gave me. I have them all kind of mixed together with mine. But anyway, what can you put in a poly mailer? You can put plush stuffed animals. I sell a lot of stuffed animals from time to time. This is what they go in because they can ship first class because it's super lightweight. Baseball gloves, I sold a lot of baseball gloves and shipped in here. Clothing, shipped a lot of clothing in here. Now you want to make sure that you put either lightweight clothing or clothing that will not fit in a padded flat rate envelope. Let me show you that. These are free from the post office. So in that blog post, I have a link for these that you can go get them. You can't really walk in the post office usually and get them. But because ours never has them, but it costs about $7.50 or so to use these, and sometimes flat rate is not a good deal, but in this case it is. And you can put a pair of blue jeans in here, and that's usually would be cheaper than paying by weight in a poly mailer. So hopefully that's not super confusing. Some things are cheaper, and eBay will let you compare rates so that you can see which one's cheaper or not. But padded flat rates are awesome, and I'm going to show you something else that I do with them too. But I would not normally suggest flat rates, but these are good. Now, if I can't get a piece of clothing, which I don't sell a lot of clothing, but if I can't get a piece of clothing in here, or a baseball glove or something like that, I will put it in one of these, and it will just have to go by weight. And you'll have to kind of figure that out when you list something, because you know, you want to make sure that you're doing the best option. So you'll need to see what's going on with that. But if it can go in this, it goes in that. That's how I do it. These are free. You order them. They ship them to your house. And it's not that big of a deal. Coincidentally, these are called Tyvek envelopes. Now, Tyvek is a certain fabric like paper that you can get. And these come from the post office. And this is essentially a free... And it's pretty big. See when it opens up? This is essentially a free poly mailer, basically. So anything that you could put in this that's going to be too heavy to go first class, you go in this for free, if it will fit. So that's another really great thing to do. Another thing, y'all, that I have done with these, I have wrapped, if the box is substantial enough that something comes in, not to get crushed, I will wrap it in bubble wrap and wrap it with these. And I have taped these together and made like a wrapping paper and wrapped them, so you can do that too. You can also put two of these end to end to make a big long one if you need to. And these will go by weight because they're not flat rate, but they're free, and they're a good way to save money instead of buying poly mailers. Now you'll find that you're going to be selling the same things over and over again probably, and that you'll need kind of the same stuff. You figure out what you need. Now this, they also make a different shape, but this is a medium flat rate box. This has to be sold at the medium flat rate rates. Like, you have to buy the postage at that. You can't just weigh this. I don't think you can. Just do it by weight. I have heard people say that you can. You need to look up the rules on that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't do that because I'm kind of scared somebody's going to fuss at me. But these are the flat rates. And they're not that big, and they cost quite a bit. So these are like $17 or something to ship, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're $16. I don't know. They're a lot. I think. Maybe I'm off. I don't know. Anyway, they're a lot. And so don't just say, oh, I'm going to do the flat rate. It's not going to be cheaper, most likely. So anyway, check that out before you ship something. But this is what the medium flat rate likes. Now, they also have a large, this shape, and a large and a medium side loading box, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. There's also a small flat rate box, which is about the size, and you have to fold them all in, but you can see it covers about this much, and then it folds in here. It's about the size of like maybe a DVD or something. I don't use these a lot. They cost almost like, they're like 20 cents cheaper than the padded flat rate. But I'll use these for, like, say, a scientific calculator or something that I'm shipping, because it'll be just a little bit cheaper, and the box to me is a little more protection than bubble wrap and a bubble mailer. They do say small flat rate. There are some that are just mailing boxes that are by weight, so make sure you have the right one when you're doing that. Another good one is, a lot of people don't know what this is, but this is the Priority Mail shoebox. Now, just because it says shoebox doesn't mean that you have to only use it for a shoebox, but it is really kind of flimsy, and so you need to make sure that what you put in it, it doesn't need a lot of like protection, because they are thinner than some of these other boxes. I don't know why they made them that way, but they're good, and you can telescope them, so you can sit one on top of this one and tape them together. You want to kind of make sure it goes down in here, tape it all together, and have two long boxes, and that works really well for a lot of things. I've also cut these down and used my box resizer, cut them down, and made it smaller. So that's another thing. This box I use a lot. This is another free one from the post office. All these are free. This goes by weight, and it is about 7 by 7 by 6 or something like that. Yeah, 7 by 7 by 6. I also usually have cardboard ones, just plain cardboard, that I use like this, because they're lightweight enough to send first class. So when you're sending stuff first class, you don't always have to use some kind of a mailer. You can use a box too if it's light enough. That's about the size that it is, and this goes by weight. I use this for a lot of things. One thing is large coffee mugs. I like to sell coffee mugs, and the oversized ones won't fit in other boxes, so this is a good size for that. But also just having a plain cardboard one, which is also linked in that post, is a good thing, because you can send coffee mugs in that easily. These, now there's 3 sizes of these. They also make a medium and I believe a large flat rate in this style. But there are 3 sizes of these. And you can put clothing in them. You can put lots of different things. You can also telescope them together. So I have sent Guitar Hero guitars this way. Usually, now these are the 2 bigger ones, and there's one in the middle. I would use the middle size, but you can open it up and put a smaller one in a larger one, tape it together. You can also put 2 of the same size together, and it's not a problem. It just ships by rate. They're not flat rate, although they do make flat rate in this style. Board games, they have a flat rate board game box. It's super expensive. You don't need to do that. Put 2 of these together, and you want to make sure that they're as tightly together as they can be. This, you know, may go in here, depending on, you can do this with any of these sizes. Usually you want the 2 sizes that are together. These are 2 that are on the opposite ends, because I don't have the middle one out here. But I've used 2 of the same size before. Just make them as tight as you can, tape down the top, and you can ship more things than you think you can in those. I thought, what am I ever going to use this thing for? I found a lot of ways to use that. Okay, this is another one of my favorite ones. These I order, just like the plain cardboard ones. It's worth it to me to order a few. These are 6 by 4 by 4. And they're real small, but I'm going to tell you, I got this idea from somebody, and I love it. So, it's about this big. You can wrap a coffee mug in this, or anything else that you want to, and it will go in here. And it's way cheaper than by weight, or it has been in the past. I don't know what the weights are now, but it has been in the past way cheaper to do that. You can also ship collectibles and things that are lightweight first class in this box, because it doesn't weigh much of anything. So, this is a really good box size to have, 6 by 4 by 4. So, it's one of my favorite sizes. I'm almost out of these. I need to order some more. Another one that I have, now I was telling you about the priority box that I use for coffee mugs. This size right here. I usually get plain cardboard ones like this, and I will ship caps in them, because if you have caps, snapbacks that people buy from you, because they're collectibles, some of them can be really expensive. They're lightweight though, and you want to ship them first class, and then you don't have a box that's the right size, then it's just a pain. I don't put those in bubble mailers. Please don't do that, because you're going to ruin somebody's cap. Even though it's lightweight, don't do that. Put them in a box. But you don't want to pay priority rate when it's really, really cheap. So the thing you can do, these are eBay branded boxes I happen to have, but I would get those other boxes that I was telling you about, and they're in that blog post. This one's 12 by 6 by 6. It's a little bit big, but it works really well for caps if that's all you have. I just bought these because I had an eBay coupon. I don't use them that often, but I do use them for that because I'm out of the other size. So it's a good backup. Another box that I use a lot. I only have 2 left. Just the regular priority mail box. This is a large mailing box. It's really big, and I just used one of these to ship something on Poshmark this morning. You can see it's a big box. So this goes by weight. This is not flat rate or anything like that. And that is a good one to have. So I just get a lot of different sizes in that I have them because they're free. And they come in a box, and you can order as many as you want, but within reason, of course. But they're great. Now, the thing that you use on these to cut them down, because say video game consoles, I know I keep going back to that, but that's something that I do sell quite a bit. Anything big like that fits perfectly in there. And then if you have room in the top, use the box resizer. Now, this is listed in my resource page on my blog. I'll also link that below, but this is one of my favorite things. It will cut the box down for you so that you don't have as much of a box and everything is real tight together, because you don't want stuff to be floating around. That's not good. That's when something's going to break. And then this, I got the idea from somebody else also. If you don't knock everything down over here. Avalanche! Okay. This is 16 by 12 by 8. This is an eBay box. And I'm not going to fold it out for you, but it's perfect for boots. So if you ship shoes and boots and things all over the place, especially cowboy boots, that's really good. Now, I showed this in a previous video, but I'm going to show it again so that you can see. This is the tape that I really like to use. This is the Duck Easy Start tape. And this tape I have not used before, but I have had many instances that I should have. This is the Duck reinforced gum tape. They also make dispensers with these in there. And this is the kind like Amazon uses with the string in it and the cardboard, and you have to wet it. But my husband found these 2 rolls at a yard sale, and I asked the guy how much he wanted for them, and he said, take them. My husband's like, no, I feel really bad about that. And he told him that on something else, so he gave him $2 for 2 rolls of tape. It's really heavy, but you need something like this. If you're shipping something that's 40 or 50 pounds, you need some good tape. So anyway, this is the tape that I prefer though, and it's going to be also linked in the description. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope that this has helped you a little bit with shipping, that you know what you can ship now and how to ship it, because that is the biggest, one of the biggest hurdles. Now I'm going to do another video where I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you just how to ship things through eBay and through other places too, because you may be selling on Instagram, you may be selling on Mercari, you may be selling somewhere else and you need help. Etsy, you need to know how to set that up. So I'm going to show you how to set that up in a listing, but I do have a blog post about that, and I'll link that below. So until I get that video out, you'll be able to see a little bit about how that works. So anyway, I appreciate you all being with me here today. I know this has been a long video, but I wanted it to be thorough because I really feel like this is lacking out there in the reselling community. I'll probably be doing some videos though showing you exactly how I ship the things that are going out, so you get some ideas on how to do that. The other things that I use that are, I didn't show today, but they're in that blog post, are 2 different sizes of bubble wrap. I find that it's really good to get quality bubble wrap. Please do not use tissue paper anything like that. You need to use good bubble wrap. Now, that being said, I use recycle boxes as many as I can find. I use my Amazon boxes for those orders. I use bubble wrap if somebody has it to give to me, packing paper. I use newspaper sometimes when it won't transfer onto the item. So I do use a lot of different things. I also use Lowe's boxes from Lowe's Home Improvement Store. I buy those for large items and they work really well. So I do buy some boxes occasionally. I do use recycle boxes whenever I can. But I like to use the free boxes that I get as much as I can without having to buy them. Now you saw the smaller ones I do buy, but for a few cents I save quite a bit being able to still ship something first class. And so it's just important to be conscious of what's going on and really think about the numbers. Where does it make sense to use what? And you'll be fine though. So I would love for you to stick around though. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please hit it, and please hit the bell, because y'all, I love YouTube. I love the reselling community, and I want to be a part of it, and I want y'all to join me here because I want to help as many people as I can, y'all. So anyway, until